Welcome back to my trading room. You know, if you spend any amount of time scrolling social media for trading content, you're probably used to seeing the flashy cars, the massive withdrawal screenshots, and those highly curated highlight reels that make this entire industry look totally effortless. But today, we're doing something completely different for this explainer. I am pulling back the curtain on my actual real-time dashboards to give you a raw, over-the-shoulder look at my current progress across multiple prop firm challenges. We're going to dive right into the good, the bad, and the highly stressful reality of it all, straight from the source. I'm currently managing exactly $80,000 in simulated capital across 3 different proprietary trading firms. And let me tell you, it is an intense mental juggling act. When you have this much capital distributed across entirely different accounts, each with their own rules, different platforms, completely different equity curves, you aren't just managing trades anymore. You're actively managing your own psychology on a minute-by-minute basis. So, rather than just throwing a bunch of numbers and win rates at you today, I actually want to walk you through the emotional roller coaster I'm currently on. We're going to look at 3 completely different psychological states I have to operate in today: the steady, disciplined grind, the exhilarating, fast-paced momentum, and the incredibly stressful defensive stand. Seeing how these 3 very different states coexist on the same trading desk on the exact same day is what real prop trading is actually all about. Section 1. The steady grind, focusing on patience on the Fintokei FundedNext Account. Let's dive right into this first phase of my portfolio. We're looking at my actual FundedNext dashboard for my $50,000 challenge cycle. This right here is where patience is tested the absolute most and where that marathon mentality really has to kick in. You can see I'm currently up by $665.90. It is a slow, steady climb. My maximum loss limit is locked in at $1,500, which means my equity absolutely cannot drop below $49,165.90. So right now, I've safely built a nice little cushion. I'm in the green, I'm breathing easy, but make no mistake, I am absolutely not out of the woods yet. Now, what's really fascinating here is the massive gap between where I currently am and where I ultimately need to be. I have a $2,500 profit target to hit, and I'm sitting at just over $665. Psychologically speaking, this is a massive trap. Staring at that gap requires immense discipline. The urge to just bump up my lot size and force a few trades to quickly close that distance is constantly hovering in the back of my mind. But surviving the steady grind means actively ignoring that temptation entirely. But here's the crucial point that gives me some real cautious optimism right now. I have already officially met my consistency rule. My highest day profit is sitting at $226.80, which perfectly aligns against the required $50-$67 threshold for consistency. This tells me that my risk management is perfectly dialed in. I'm not relying on one lucky massive home run trade to pass. I'm actually executing my strategy exactly as intended, day by day. Section 2. The home stretch. Looking at momentum on the 5K Fintokei Challenge. Okay, moving away from that slow grind, let's look at where my mood completely lifts in the portfolio. This right here is the sprint. This is where the strategy is just clicking beautifully and everything feels right. This is my Fintokei dashboard. It's a $5,000 Pro Trader Phase 2 account, and I'm running it on the C-Trader platform. Looking at this data feels fantastic because I am absolutely crushing the metrics here. And get this, it's just 4 days after opening the account. The equity curve is this beautiful, smooth climb upwards, keeping me safely far away from that daily loss limit hovering below. Just look at that progress. I'm already over halfway to my goal. I've hit 51.46% of my past threshold by locking in $154.39 of the required $300 profit target. Now, on a smaller $5,000 account, the raw numbers themselves might seem a bit small compared to the $50K account we just looked at, but the percentage gains are happening rapidly. I am riding a massive wave of momentum right now, and I can practically see the finish line for Phase 2. And this brilliantly illustrates why I'm feeling so incredibly confident today. I have maintained an unbelievable 94% win rate across 72 total trades. Yep, 72 trades in just 3 active trading days. And arguably the most important part, my daily loss limit and max loss limit are sitting at exactly 0%. 0 breaches, 0 warnings. When a system is firing on all cylinders like this, my trading psychology gets incredibly aggressive. Honestly, I feel like I just can't miss right now, though I'll admit the 3 cups of coffee I just drank might be helping that confidence just a bit. But seriously, I trust my edge completely here. Section 3. The defensive stand. Surviving drawdown on 4 traders. All right, let's move to the final piece of the puzzle and see how this builds a complete, unfiltered picture of a trader's reality. Because I promise you, no matter how good that 94% win rate feels, it is not all green numbers and smooth sailing in this business. Welcome to my reality check. This is my $25,000 instant account with 4 traders, also running on CTrader. And right off the bat, you can tell the vibe is entirely different here. My total equity currently sits at $24,931.22. That means I am currently in the red. I've got a negative profit of $68.78. So suddenly, I am no longer that aggressive, highly confident trader from the 5K account. Over here, I am purely playing defense. Now, this is the part that really tests my nerves. The drawdown protection metric is active. I have already used $19.56 of my specific $500 drawdown protection limit, which leaves me with exactly $480.44 of risk remaining. Seeing that warning activated is a highly stressful visual cue. It's essentially the market flashing a bright yellow light right in my face, demanding that I instantly switch to strict defensive risk management. I absolutely cannot afford a single impulsive mistake on this account today. But, here is the wild contradiction of trading. Despite the immense frustration of sitting at a negative current balance and having to closely monitor that remaining daily loss limit, there is actually a silver lining. I have to remind myself that I've already successfully met the minimum requirement of 7 profitable days. In fact, I'm clocking in 8 profitable days so far. So the reality is, I am making profitable trades, but the sizing or the losers are currently dragging the net balance down. It's a really complex puzzle to solve, and it requires intense, unwavering focus. Section 4. Lessons from the trenches. Compartmentalizing the hustle. So, having taken a raw look over my shoulder at these 3 completely different dashboards today, what's the real takeaway here? This breakdown is the ultimate secret to managing multiple funded accounts. It requires extreme mental compartmentalization. When I sit down at my desk, I have to seamlessly switch my psychology on the fly. I have to go from the aggressive confidence of practically passing my 5K Fintokei account to the marathon patience of grinding out the 50K FundedNext account, all the way to the highly defensive survival tactics needed on my 25K for traders account. And I have to do all of that on the exact same day, without letting the emotions from one account bleed into the decisions I make on another. Going into the markets next week, my personal mantra is entirely focused on this reality. It's all about respecting the unique technical limits of each firm. Whether I'm dealing with a 5% trailing loss, a daily drawdown limit, or a static profit target, the rules have to dictate my behavior, not my emotions. I have to keep my ego entirely out of the driver's seat. If I let that high win rate on Fintokei make me arrogant on my Forced Traders account, I'll end up blowing that 25K account before the week is even over. I want to leave you with a question to reflect on for your own journey. Think about your own strategies when your screens look like my 4Traders dashboard. How do you react when the drawdown protection light literally flashes red? Because I can tell you from experience, mastering that defensive mindset, learning how to take a punch, protect your capital, and just stay alive to trade another day is what actually keeps you in this game long term. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into my real dashboards, and I will see you in the markets.